Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 27. This is round number 9, and we head to the circuit, Dakota, for the United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas, a track where we saw Toxic Tomato take the championship last season. But with the gap being so minimal, we won't be able to have a title crown tonight, but I'm sure we're going to have some fantastic racing nonetheless. My name is Jess, and joining me as per usual is Dan. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing brilliant as always, Jess. We are just getting ready for the American Grand Prix. It's a brilliant circuit, Dakota. It's one of my personal favourites to commentate, and it is also a tricky circuit, especially in the first sector, to actually completely nail. It's really easy to run just slightly wide and get a warning, which probably means some drivers will amount a lot of penalties in this race.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm almost have to say, if you get a penalty in the race, then you're going to be in trouble. If you don't get a penalty, then you're going to gain quite a lot of positions. We've seen that in a lot of the other tiers this week, so don't be too surprised if you see your favourite drop. Anyway, we're going to be looking at the drivers' standings from last week. We saw Benjamin still yet to get a win this season, but still, he has got a lot to, I think, live up to. He likes his track. So watch him to be the favourites for the win today. And we got Mission second, Samuel Bean in third, Kazooie in fourth, Fabi in fifth. We got Table Clan in 7th position, Will in 8th position, Simo in 9th. Ballina rounds up your top 10. And we got Luca, who can't be here tonight. We got CT Brain in 12th on 19. Petrox in 13th on 18. World Rally in 14th on 17. Haller in 15th on 16. And then everybody else is now near the bottom. And Greeny actually got his first points last week, getting an impressive 4th place, which was amazing to see from him. And we're going to go and look at the Constructors' Championship now. We've got Renault that's still leading, look very consistently on 107 points. AlphaTauri, 93 points. 3rd place is Racing Point with 65. 4th is McLaren on 52. 5th is Haas with 46. 6th is Williams on 43. 7th is Alfa Romeo on 34. 8th is Mercedes on 27. 9th is Ferrari with 25. And 10th is Red Bull with 24 points. And to be honest, with the grid close enough as it is, it's going to be crucial to get some great results if they want to stay in the championship fight. Only a few drivers mathematically still in it.
It's certainly a very hotly contested championship at the moment. Of course, Benjamin leading the way by quite a decent margin on Bean behind him. Of course, Samuel Bean in that Renault car. He did not have a good week in last week, of course, and he actually lost quite a lot of standing in regard to the man just behind him in the championship of Mish, who absolutely dominated that race. So realistically, for Samuel Bean, he's got to put out the bag in this race just to close up to Benjamin.
Yep, Samuel Bean was very unlucky last time about. Unfortunately, there was the glitch where he suffered from when he was put to the back of the grid as well, and he got involved in incidents as well. I remember there was wet weather which affected people's runnings as well. So to be honest, Samuel Bean doesn't like the wet weather. We've seen that in France where it was raining a little bit in the race. He didn't like that, and same with Singapore. So he's going to hope that it's dry. We don't know what the weather's going to be like during the race. The drivers haven't told us yet, but for him, he's going to hope that he's praying for no rain to come. But it's looking sunny now, but things may change over the course of the session tonight.
I believe they're saying in the Twitter chat there might be a little bit of rain. I don't know if that's towards the end of qualifying or if it's towards the end of the race. I do tend to really like full wet qualifying. It looks like it's dry today, but wet races don't tend to be the greatest. Of course, it was a dry to wet race in the last one, and that still made for some great and exciting fights, of course. But yeah, around America, I'm not too sure if it would be the same.
Yeah, I don't tend to like wet races around USA because obviously the really tricky chicanes of like turn 13 and 14 where you can literally treat it as one turn, and obviously 15 and 16 as well. That's where the most overtakes are going to be, as well as turn 12. Without those DRS being affected, you're not going to get the best run possible. We're riding on board with Lamp F1 in the Ferrari as he takes us on board on a hot lap, just passing the S section now, and this is where a lot of people tend to go quite wide around here. As you head towards turn 6 and 7. Quite a few people had to move out the way of Lamp during his lap. And I won't be surprised if I commentate on someone on a lap if he invalidates, but hopefully he doesn't as he heads towards the end. I believe it's turn 11. Yes, it is turn 11, and now heading towards DRS straight, heading in towards turn 12, all the way up to 200 miles per hour. Here goes Lamp. It's only a slight wheel touching the curb, and you'll probably get invalidated, which he doesn't. Heads towards turn 12 now, and you're going to be heading towards turn 13 and 14, where a lot of people like to take a lot of risks here. Now heading towards turn 15 and 16 now, as he clips the curb again. And the final bell set to 3. Few people are not, to be honest with you, but it happens that they tend to use a lot of their tyres then as well. So here we go, Lamp F1 goes towards the final corner now. Let's see what he could do with his lap time. It's looking pretty decent banker at the moment, 129.3 for the Ferrari driver.
Really close throughout the entirety of the grid. That lap, despite only being 7th position, is still only 4/10 off of the back of Samuel Bean, who's on a 28.9, the only driver to go into the 1 minute 28 at this moment in time. I'm just trying to see if anyone else is on a run. It doesn't seem like that. Benjamin's just finished up a lap on the mediums, I believe, but I think, yeah, he's not looking too strong in this qualifying session whatsoever, as I believe Mies just got out of the way of the AlphaTauri driver. Doesn't look like the Belgian is going to be pushing on a lap anytime soon. I believe the furthest car up on a lap is Simo. He's just on his out lap now, and he'll begin it as we speak. And now on the run up towards turn number 1. This is going to be hot place for overtaking. You can see braking just at the kind of the midpoint of the green curb on the outside. You want to clip that apex nice and beautifully, and then run it on the outside, and now taking it through to the beginning of the S section. A beautiful and swift path of the circuit. So you just have to lift off ever so slightly through the first part of it, and then it gets a lot slower. Really easy to just turn in a little bit too much, invalidate it. He runs it out wide, cut back across. That's a brilliant run through the first sector for Simo, as I believe he's just crossing the split now. And beginning the second, oh sorry, it's actually way into the S section. Do apologise for that one, but now the DRS straight is going to be when the speed trap is around the circuit. You're looking at speeds of up to 330 kilometers per hour. A beautiful part, and really easy to overtake, especially with that DRS and overtake combo. Breaking it down now into turn number 12. He takes that nice and calmly and running out wide, and now to the third sector. We're looking at a place where it is a heavy place on the tyres, of course. You'll be locking up, especially through this corner right here that he has just taken. I don't believe he had too much of a heavy lock-up, but it is nice and tidy for Simo. It's looking like a strong lap for the Italian, of course, winner of the Monaco Grand Prix. So he's invalidated there in the third sector. That is going to be a swift end to his lap. He'll be putting into the pit lane, and that is his run over.
That is a shame for him, of course. One win, but to be honest, I wasn't predicting him to get the one and only win from Monaco, but sometimes you have to show some luck, and he got that with the lack of penalties that he got. So I think Simo could definitely be another driver to watch in that regard when it comes to this race. Now we're on board with Mish, last week's race winner in Singapore, of course. Probably one of the most dominant performances we've seen from a driver all season. I think the biggest gap as well, and Mish was hoping that it was going to rain here as well, but we'll get, I believe what they've been saying, it probably is going to be a bit of rain in the race, and that is definitely music to Mish's ears, because I'm almost certain he definitely performs better in the rain, and Benjamin definitely does not want that. So that can make the championship fight just a little bit more interesting for both the Racing Point driver and the AlphaTauri driver, as well, as they'll be using free softs for qualifying if they're running balanced and or harder setup. But if they're going for a much softer tyre compound selection, then obviously they will be having more soft to use, but they got to take this gamble as well to see if they don't get involved in too many incidents. Mish comes across the line now, and it's not going to be the fastest lap of the session, but it's going to be a respectable third place for now, 129.0. Not that far behind Samuel Bean, who is in second place. We've got Kazui on pole, so at the moment we've got a Renault 1-2. It's not the first time we've seen that this season, Dan.
Yeah, of course, Renault really strong in the constructors. They're leading it with 97 points to their name. AlphaTauri would be very close contenders, but Balan has not had the easiest time this season. Saying that, he's in 4th position at the moment, and he's not pushing on a lap. Someone I'm following along with is Will at the moment in 20th position, yet to put in a lap, and he's just on the DRS straight. He's looked pretty strong to the first sector. He's got a McLaren up ahead of him. I believe that is Fabi, who is pushing on a lap at this moment. So of course he has no obligation to let Will through. 1 minute flat point through the second sector split. A little bit of oversteer coming into the third sector though, and he's missed his apex ever so slightly, so it's not looking like it's the best run for Will in the second sector, in the third sector, and up towards the fast right-hander where Verstappen overtook Raikkonen on the last lap of the 2017 US Grand Prix. A brilliant spot for these drivers to take, and now up to the line through the final corner. A little bit of oversteer on exit and more struggles for Will, only puts him in 12th position. There's a lot of room to improve on that lap for him.
Yeah, Fabi, I think, was on across the line in third as well. A few people were definitely struggling on their laps, that's for sure. I mean, in this race, so it's going to be, I think, a bit of an issue for some of the drivers that like to usually qualify inside the top 10 in the race. But this is, I think, one of those tracks as well where alternate strategy, if they start on the mediums, then to be honest, that's gold in a way as well for some of the drivers. But I found in the Xbox race on Thursday, some of the drivers that started on the mediums went onto the softs, they found it hard to get past some of the medium runners. So it does depend really on the pace too, as Simo as well is just starting. I'm just trying to see if anyone else. KJ as well is filling in once again in the Red Bull. Actually, we got only 2 reserves in the Red Bull camp tonight. No full-time drivers, which means no constructors points for Red Bull, which is not ideal since they're last in the standings. So KJ is, I need to actually double check who KJ is filling in for, but we do know that this man, Caden Forbes, he's filling in for the Luca, who can't be here tonight as well. So great to see Caden Forbes back. I'm a bit worried though, we thought that his wheel is not fixed, but I'm assuming he's either racing on a pad or he's found a workaround for tonight. But great to see him back on the grid, even though it's just for one race at the moment.
So KJ is actually filling in for Manolo. I don't know where he is and what reason he has. Of course, they do have to provide a reason if they choose not to turn up to a race. So he must have had some sort of valid excuse to not miss this weekend. Sorry. But yeah, KJ is filling in for him. He's just validated on his lap a little bit ago, as I believe we just saw a Haas car. I think that was Simo going into 6th position, so he finally managed to nail a lap down. But the championship leader, Benjamin, is pushing at the moment through the second sector on the run up towards turn number 11. He's missed his apex quite poorly there, unfortunately for him, and that will lose him a bit of time. Probably net him a little bit of a better exit, but realistically he's lost more to the corner that he will gain on the straight on the run up to the 12th corner of this circuit, breaking down just before the 50-meter board. You want to go really heavy and really late for that corner to get the best run, and he's doing so far so good at the moment. He's on 36.6 at the moment, and he's found 3 seconds in total through the second sector. So of course, as it stands, it's not too good, but I'd imagine he's made a huge mistake in the final sector, which has lost him all that time. Look, really strong, and now to the penultimate corner, and of course on the run up towards the last turn of the circuit. A lot of drivers struggling with size on this one, but it looks like he's done perfectly through there, and he actually has a line. That's not good from Benjamin. 30.0. That is far beyond his standards.
That's way off the pace in a 128 that we're expecting from him as well. And as you can see on the track, the clouds are starting to thicken, so that's probably why a lot of drivers are going out for their laps now rather than waiting for the 3-minute mark. So maybe Benjamin's going to go again. Actually, he's not going to go again, as he's invalidated his lap. But we got Kazui, Samuel Bean, Fabi, Mish, Banner all going out as quickly as they can, because they do know that there's a threat of rain in this qualifying session at the end of qualifying, they said. But you never know with Cody's. It may not turn up at all. It may turn up when qualifying actually finishes and people just about to finish their final laps, which has happened to me in Silverstone quite a few times. But yeah, they're only on their R laps. No one is on a push lap right now, apart from maybe Will Rally, who got a win this season in Russia. He's another driver that's hoping for the wet weather. Another driver's looking consistent on pace. If he's put near the front, he was a bit lucky though in Russia, but again, you have to have luck sometimes. 1:31.9 for him, still not a good lap, but 4 people not saying a lap time, and with KJ and Table Clan in the pits, if there is a threat of rain, they got to get out very, very quickly.
It's looking like it's spitting. That might just be my monitor playing tricks on my eyes, but the clouds have certainly covered the Kota circuit and will definitely lower the temperatures. So that means on the outlaps, they're going to have to put a lot more heat into the tyres by weaving, so they'll be slower. I think with the threat of rain, they have come out a little bit earlier than they would have hoped to. And that's why we've seen a lot of drivers on their outlaps and now beginning their push laps. But I believe the furthest driver up on a actual push lap at the moment is World Rally, if I'm not mistaken. He's 3/10 off on his run at the moment, of course. He's a 31.9. It's not looking too strong for the Italian. We'll see what he can do through the final sector. He's taken that really nicely. A little bit oversteering on the exit. A lot of these guys seemingly running oversteering setups in general, but now triple apex right-hander. He's got his teammate Lamp just in front of him on an outlap, so he's going to have to back out of the way. And that was good from Lamp to not give slipstream and to not get in his way. Of course, it's banned to give slipstream in qualifying. Here he goes to cross the line. It's 15th position for World Rally. He only jumped Benjamin.
Yeah, a bit of a shame there. He's not going to have time to set another one, of course, unless he can get one before the threat of rain does come. Tomato is about to start his fly lap. So is KJ, Table Clan as well. I'm trying to see who is about to finish their lap. Maybe Ballina potentially as well. Mish has gone fastest with a 1:28. We are expecting 1:28.6s, I think, in his qualifying session. Will we get even closer to that? Ballina, I think, is just about to start. That's probably why he may have bottled his final run. As we got Kazooie, who has unfortunately invalidated his run. We've got an Alfa Romeo of no, they're just about to start their flyers. Next we got Petrox, who is about to actually no, he's retired. He's retired on track. That's not good. But Petrox has had internet issues, but he's had them sorted and he's now back in the session for the rest of the season, which is good news. KJ's about to start his flyer lap as well. It looks like the rain is just holding off until the end of qualifying, I think. So a bit of a relief for us and a relief for the drivers too.
I don't think they'll be worrying about rain as of yet. I believe Havler's just pulling into the pit lane, so that's not going to be a lap for him. But Lamp F1 sitting in 10th position at the moment. He's on a 29.3. He's pushing through the final sector, and it looks like he's going to be the last of the drivers to put in a lap. Sorry, the first driver to put in a final lap. He only can manage a 900th improvement. We've got someone else. It's a Williams car of Tomato yet to put in a lap through the final corner. Let's see what our champion can do. And it's only 16th position as qualifying has ended now at the Instruct Zero and cannot begin a new lap if you are already on one.
Banner, I think, is just about to finish as well. 1:28.9 for him puts him in at P4 next. I believe it's a racing point. I'm gonna get strong suspicions that it might be Mish in a P2, which he doesn't do a lap. He goes in to the pits. Then we have one of the Alfa Romeos who invalidates. And we always seem to pick invalidated drivers as well. Kazooie is about to finish his lap as well. Only a few hundreds slower than his previous best, and it doesn't look like he's going faster than his previous laps. I think it's going to be him staying in third. Maybe, I believe, Lamp, or it might be name changer. Nope, it's name changer. That was so... yeah. That was an invalidation just up penultimate corner there, so he could only manage 11th position. Then it's just, no, it's not Greeny. Tomato, I think, is going a bit slower. It's just Benjamin then, who has to move out the way, or Lamp has to move out the way of Benjamin then. The only championship leader that I've come across in a while who has yet to pick up a win. His worst result is a P6. His best result is a P2. Could he do one better tonight? Let's hope he doesn't miss that final corner. He's got to improve a lot if he wants to beat Samuel B. But you can see the track is getting slippery already. 1:29.8. He improves, but not by position. 19th, and Table Clan, he didn't get a lap at all.
Yeah, Table Clan really strong at the end of that one, but well, Benjamin on a wheel. He's not putting a good run there, and his main championship rivals starting 1 and 2 on the grid. So there's going to be a sense of fear for the young Belgian driver, but he's got it all to do in this race. He's still yet to win a Grand Prix in the PSGL F2 season 27 season. So perhaps if he can pull it off this race, he'll have to put in a lot of overtakes But you know what? If anyone can do that, it's probably going to be Benjamin.
Yeah, I think so as well. And the one advantage is, yeah, he can start on the medium tyres, which I won't be surprised if he does. So, yeah, do watch out for him. His race is not over by any way, shape or form. He's done that from near the back of the grid before, and he's managed to climb up the order as well. He's a great talent, does Benjamin, obviously, in the VRT team. So let's look at your results then for qualifying. Samuel Bean takes pole from Mish, only 7/100ths of a second. And we got Kazooie in third, Bannon fourth. Then we got Fabi, Simo, Petrox, Hadler, Lamp F1, then Midnight rounds up your top 10. Name changer in 11th, Caden Forbes, CC Brain, Will, KJ, Greeny, Tomato, World Rally, Benjamin in 19th, and then Table Clan in last place. People outside the top 10, of course, will have the option to start on whatever tyre they want to. But the ones inside the top 10, they have to start on the tyre that they set their fastest lap on, which can either hinder them or can help them in the long run. But in the race, it looks nice and sunny. No cloud in the sky, Dan.
That is really good to see. No rain in qualifying. It looking like it's a nice and dry race. High temperatures in the Texan circuit, of course. This brilliant track being one of only three, two or three anti-clockwise circuits. We went to one last week of Singapore, and now we're back at the USA. So it is bit of a different track to the others. I do love to commentate and to drive on it sometimes. It is favouring towards the wheel, especially through the first sector. But that didn't stop me from putting it second on the grid and only 700ths behind Kazooie. So yeah, I think those two are going to have really good races. And I do apologise. I believe it's actually Samuel Bean on pole.
Yep, it is Samuel Bean in pole, I believe. Yep. Don't worry, I've done that. I've done that in the Xbox side as well. I said the wrong driver as well. It's just hard to tell sometimes if they're in the same car. So we do apologise about that. But as we wait for all the drivers to get their strategies sorted, it's either going to be soft to mediums or soft to hards. I think everybody will probably try the soft to medium strategy if they're inside the top 10. Pit around lap 8 to 11. Lap 8 is the perfect lap to pit on, or maybe lap 7 for the undercut if you can make your medium tyres last the duration as well. And it has popped up on my screen as well, but the game thinks it's doing a 2-stop, but definitely a 1-stop could be done around this. Looking people outside the top 10, and well, I'm not really that surprised, to be honest. Everyone outside the top 10 are on the medium tyres, Dan.
Yeah, that is to be expected. Of course, when you get the free choice of tyres, you might as well take it. But I do believe that this is a stop to medium circuit. I think Name Changer was actually able to qualify, and Lamp's been put right to the back of the grid for whatever reason. Why is he down there?
Same glitch as last week, because Lamp joined after the lobby started, and if you do that, you get put to the back of the grid for some weird reason. It happened to Samuel Bean last week. It happened to a lobby I was watching last Friday as well. It's just not nice, and I think Lamp's going to be very frustrated with himself. But you know, Lamp, I hope Lamp still goes into this race, and they won't be restarting for one driver. They'll have to continue on to the race as well. But where did Lamp start? Do you know? Where did Lamp qualify?
I think he qualified in and about the top 10. I think it was in 9th position, if I'm not mistaken. But this just really does amount to his bad luck. Something that else kind of worries me is that in this game, they do have their own numbers on the car, but you've got Charles Leclerc's number on
that's another glitch.
on that Ferrari.
Yeah, if you join midway, and not at the start of the lobby, you get given the normal driver's car number, which is annoying, especially if you're in the F1 tier and are using TAS, the TAS system that they use. It's annoying for the people that configure that, because it says player something, but they'll have to sort it for like just one race. But luckily we don't use that, so there's nothing to worry about. But it's frustrating, I would say, for Lamp. But anyway, Samuel Bean and Mish got disqualified from the formation lap, so they must collide in some way. They're going to be on like cold tyres, and we don't want a situation of what we saw in Xbox on Thursday, where someone actually started on minus 200 degree tyres and it dropped them near to the back of the grid. So that's going to be advantage Kazooie and Banner, who are starting on the second row. So let's see what happens then as the 5 red lights are about to come on your screens for round 9 of the PSGL F2 Championship. Samuel Bean's on pole. Mish is alongside him. Who's going to get the better getaway? The 5 red lights are on. And we are underway. Decent start from both of them, but good start from Kazooie in 3rd place. They make their way towards turn 1. I think Mish is going to try and cover off Samuel Bean, but Samuel Bean is going to have none of that. Kazooie, I think, wants a piece of the action as well. Now heading towards the S's section. Fabi also getting a good start as well, trying to go around the inside of Simo, but there's huge contact in the background. Simo has retired from the session, Dan.
Safety car, and it looks like Caden Forbes is off. I think Greenie's gone as well. Name change is slow. It's all gone completely wrong out of the first one. And you can see that I just saw on board with Caden Forbes, I think, that Simo was upside down there.
Wow.
He was like pressed against the wall. I have no clue what happened. I'd love seeing on board from him. But yeah, it was all chaotic. I think a lot of it was caused by Mish and Samuel being going a little bit slower. There was kind of a bunch on the pack, especially when they were going 3 wide into the first corner. But disaster for Simo, of course, winner of the Monaco Grand Prix, out on lap number 1. So it's all gone wrong for everyone involved in that as well. I believe there's damage probably for the guys in 17th, 18th and 19th at the moment. Actually, I don't think they've suffered from any damage. I think there's a end plate missing for the Red Bull car.
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
They'll be able to come into the pit lane, of course, since we are in the safety car, and he won't lose any other positions, of course. He's running in 19th, but I wonder what happened between Greenie and Caden Forbes, both starting in somewhat similar positions. I actually think it more was contact between Name Change and Caden Forbes, because they started really close to each other on circuit, and it's all... They're both at the back, so we'll have to see from that one. I believe someone will probably be complaining in Twitter chat. We've got early pit stop CC Brain coming into the box now, as is Table Clan and Greenie. Our name change is actually hitting behind his teammate, so he's going to lose a position to Caden Forbes probably.
Double stacking does not work on this game, so that's going to hurt Name Changer more, but he's going to catch up to the safety car, so it's not going to be that worse. It would only be worse if you were pitting out of safety car conditions as well. But I have to say, Benjamin had a good start. He's gained 6 positions off the restart. He's up into P13, so I don't know how he avoided the carnage earlier on, but he must have done. He kind of like had a... Well, he didn't have a George Russell type of start in the virtual GP because his start was astonishing, but Benjamin is already up into, I would say, almost P10. So I did say he's a driver to watch, and he's definitely proving his worth today as well. As unfortunately we've got getting the timing glitch, so we can't see who is where at the moment. But yeah, only 4 drivers have pitted onto the hards. Caden Forbes somehow's gone for the soft tyres. I wonder why, Dan.
Well, going to the hards might not be the fastest strategy, but maybe Caden Forbes just wants to be different from the pack. I don't know if it'll work out too well. He's going to have to make another pit stop. That is pretty much guaranteed. He's not going to go from lap, well, I guess we'd be probably racing from lap 5. So we would not see Caden Forbes getting to the end on the same set of softs that he's been on since the 3rd lap of the Grand Prix. So he'll have to pit. He's probably just suiting himself to the same strategy as the soft runners in front of him. But yeah, he'll have a big burst of pace in comparison to his rivals. So that is something to cling on to for him. He'll be a lot quicker than those around him, and he'll be able to take advantage of that, maybe bring out a gap, and he might also be relying on a later safety car.
Yeah, perhaps do some of these drivers as well, and maybe some of the drivers may opt to pit a lot earlier, because with the safety car they won't be going at full belts pace really, so they will, the laps 8 to 11 is predicted strategy. Cut that a few laps, I would say. Lap 9 or 10 is potentially when they'll be pitting as well, which means that the mediums, they won't be at puncture territory at the end of the race, which will probably be a relief for everybody as well. CC Brain is pitting again, or is that his first stop? I will have to double check that. Table Clan's pitting too, so is Greenie, and so is Name Changer. I'm a bit confused about that. Are they going on mediums? I'm guessing they want to use the tyre compounds, but that still baffles me. Why? Because they just pitted a lap ago. So hopefully it's not a game glitch by any means, but that may mean the safety car will have to stay out for a bit longer, which we don't want. We want to actually gets them racing. But Mish is in the lead, Samuel Bean in second. Ballina also was another driver that had a good restart, up into third already. Kazooie unfortunately did not have the best of restarts, but Fabi in fifth. Haller as well had a good start. Sixth, Petrox seventh, Midnight 8th, KJ in ninth. Tomato, don't forget, was near the back, and he's now in 10th position. So great to see from him. It's great to see that people taking advantage of people's mistakes around this track. Don't forget the DRS won't be activated until 2 laps after the safety car has came in. So it'll be a little while before we see some overtakes, I think.
Yeah, well, I'd imagine that I think the soft runners, the medium runners behind it, I don't know if they're on the same set of tyres as they were before, because it's come up as 2 laps for Name Changer, Table Clan and CC3.
I'm thinking drive-through maybe? Actually, no, not drive-through.
Can't serve drive-throughs on the safety car because that just completely gets rid of
Oh yeah, good point.
advantage.
Good point. Good point.
But we'll just have to be passing strategies, and probably we're getting underway because the safety car is pulling in this lap.
Yep, it is then. So Mish is going to be the one that controls the restart. He's used to this by now. He's done that many times this season. He's won in the wet, but can he win in the dry? He's looking the favourite to do so right now. And Samuel Bean, I think, is going to be hungry to make up for lost time from last week. He's probably quite happy that it's in the dry at the moment, but he's got to have a good restart. He can't afford to be napping or anything. But Mish is accelerating nice and early, so I'm guessing they want to get one underway very, very quickly. You can't overtake until the start-finish straight, and there we go. We go racing once again. Mish gets a perfect restart of dreams right now. What about everybody else towards the middle of the pack? We do seeing a bit of an AlphaTauri having a little bit of a lag spike. It might be my end there, but looks like he's back in full force at the moment. No overtakes for now, but Samuel Bean is looking quite racy on Mish up front for P1, as no penalties as of yet, which is why obviously the safety car that came out, you can't get penalties when you go slow, but expect penalties to probably be given out in a few laps time or so as they head towards turn 11. And you can see Samuel Bean's traction and pace on straight line is looking very impressive for him as well. The 2 championship contenders alongside Benjamin. Let's see if Samuel Bean can get a run towards turn 12. Obviously they won't be able to do it without DRS yet, but he stays behind for now. But he's going to be looking good in a few laps time when he has the DRS, whereas Mish won't.
Already a penalty coming out for Caden Forbes. He's managed to find a way past CC Brain. Now he's onto the back of Lamp F1. Good friends, those two. But you can just see how much Samuel Bean and Mish been able to put away from Ballina at this point. It seems like Mish was struggling through the first part of that restart, and Samuel Bean was really hounding the back of him. You can really see how he's a lot more confident through the corners, is the Spaniard. Of course, multiple time race winner in this season, as is Mish. And now he could be on the attack up towards the first corner. You can see how Mish is already utilising so much of his ERS to really try and just defend from Samuel Bean, but it's only a matter of time before the Renault car catches up to him and then takes advantage of him when he's weak. I'd expect it to be on the DRS straight, of course, without the drag reduction system as of yet, but just crossing through this first sector split, you can see how much closer he's getting. I believe this might be the difference between the wheel and the pad in this game, as now coming through turn number 8 and up to, I believe it's actually turn 11, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Samuel Bean will probably try and go on the attack. Looks like Mish has pulled away from him ever so slightly, and that might actually mean that Samuel Bean can't push and attack him because he's just turned down his overtake. So that is no move made for him.
Nope, I think he's just saving for the right moment, but maybe it might be a moment too late. And yes, I've seen how people have been managing their ERS throughout the race, and I thought it would have been a perfect opportunity for people in the safety car to save a lot, but everybody's already on the 50s and 60s at the moment. Fabi is in the 46s as well. It's very crucial around this track that you don't waste too much ERS, otherwise you're going to be in serious trouble, I have to say, as well. So in the next lap, that is when we'll see the DRS activation point open. KJ is one of those other drivers who is not in the DRS detection point soon, because he's over 1 second from midnight and DRS is activated. So They won't be able to use it at the start finish straight, but they will be able to use it in turn 11 heading towards turn 12. And I think KJ has got to pick up his pace a little bit, but Midnight is on the softs, whereas KJ is on the medium, so that probably to be explained there. But I'm noticing up the front, Samuel Bean is definitely losing a bit of time to Mish in the SS section again, and it's crucial that he stays with that DRS window as well, because Banana and Kazooie also catching up, Fabi as well. Handler, the DRS train is growing, and I'm a bit worried that the longer the DRS train, the less likely there will be overtakes. But we've seen unlikely stories happen in Formula 1, and yes, Samuel Bean is just not looking as confident as Mish again, and that this was his first opportunity to get the overtake done. You will get a little bit closer to Mish, but not close enough.
You can see how much the Racing Point is using that overtake. He's now down to 20%, which is really going to hurt him. It looks like Benjamin is starting to move on Tomato, where he wrapped up the championship this time last season at this circuit as an easy move. He moves back onto the racing line right before the braking zone, and that is P10 for Benjamin. He's in a points paying position, and now he'll be on to back of KJ Elting, who's really struggling. He's not got the DRS 2 cars in front of him, and that is pretty much making him lose touch. He's not got as much DRS, so at least in the SS section he'll be able to reel them in ever so slightly, but I don't think he's really going to have that speed, especially with the softs being a little bit less worn than we would expect at this point of the race, beginning lap number 7, of course. With those couple laps under the safety car, we pretty much started the race, started wearing the tyres in around about lap number 4, so realistically they've only got about 3 laps of wear actually on them, and you can see just how much he's lost on that straight. He's now 2.3 seconds back from the cars in front, but as the race goes on, those mediums will get stronger down the Red Bull soft tyres, so you can't count him out being the leading ops track runner.
Definitely not as well. At the moment, the delta between the softs and the mediums is around about 1.4 seconds, so 1.3 seconds, sorry, slower than the softs and medium tyres, and between the mediums and the hards, 0.7 tenths of a second as well. So I can understand why Benjamin is struggling a little bit, but hold on, KJ must be struggling a little bit more as Benjamin's gained a little bit more time as well. I would have to say, when it gets to around lap 9 and 10, that is when we're going to start to see, I think, the deltas change a little bit. Kazooie gets past Banana. Kazooie's now back up into 3rd. So at the moment, we've got a Renault 2-3, which is definitely handy for the Constructors' Championship. We talked about the Constructors' Championship early. The closest battle for the championship for the Constructors is between these 2 cars, the AlphaTauri and the Renault, so it's crucial for Banana to get ahead of Kazooie to stop Renault from gaining as many points as they possibly can. We've got a yellow flag. That is unfortunately Caden Forbes, who is spun in towards turn 15 and, well, turn 14 now and in towards turn 15 and 16. So yeah, this race has gone from bad to worse for the reserve driver in the Red Bull car, racing in the number 84 today. Samuel Bean has got closer again on Mish, but this could be his mark. He's now 2 tenths. This is going to be make or break for Samuel Bean at the moment, but it's great to see the 2 Titans fighting it out. I wish it was Benjamin fighting with them as well. That would have been a great championship Titan battle, but Benjamin, I think, can wait until he gets on the softs.
Yeah, well, later on in the Grand Prix, he will be on the fresher tyres and be in a much better position tyre-wise than these 2. But that won't stop them from fighting now, as their pit window is open. I imagine they try and extend it maybe 1 or 2 laps more, but this is as close as Samuel Bean has been all race in this one. And you can see he's probably going to start to utilise his overtake down the straight. I think Nice is going to be absolutely defensive against the raging Spaniard. There it is, moving to the left-hand side, pulling out the slipstream, and that is the move made for Samuel Bean. Mish, he can fight it into the spring zone.
Oh, Kazooie!
He's not going to choose to, and there's Kazooie as well, trying to go up the inside of the Racing Point car. It could be a 1-2 for Renault, unless Mish fights us down the inside. He's got nothing left, and he can't, unfortunately, for his race. He might try and dive up the inside of Kazooie, which he has done. Kazooie's running wide, and that is opportunity sought, an opportunity made for Mish, and now Kazooie back around the outside with the switchback. He's made that move stick. Mish losing 2 positions in a matter of 1 sector there.
Yeah, I think Mish was not expecting Kazooie to be right behind them, I have to say, and that's good teamwork from the Renault boys. Now, he was P2 and 3 a moment ago, now P1 and 2, so perfect scenario for them. Hadler, though, has decided enough, so that's on the soft. He doesn't care that the safety car has gone on. He's going on to the soft. Will this give a cue for the other drivers to respond? So onto the medium tyres he goes, and that will last until the end of the race. So I think we'll expect the other cars to pit onto the mediums very, very soon. Hadler also, Hadler is, I think, going to be dropping to the back, towards the back for now. But obviously with the medium runners will be pitting later as well. He'll be towards, I would say, I think, the midfield, I think, when it comes to, I think, halfway inward to the final third of this race at least. And I think Mish is still fighting back on Kazooie at the moment. Maybe he could go for a move what Samuel Bean did to him earlier on, but unfortunately that he didn't get the traction that he needed to. Not close battles at the moment, but Mish could do a send into turn 12. If he could have a look on Kazooie to the left-hand side. Nope, he does not, but I think we're going to see a potential moving towards turn 15 and 16 very, very soon. Now heading towards turn 14 now, and then heading towards turn 15. These three very close indeed. Banner as well, and so is Fabi too as well. Fabi having a good race so far, and so is Petrox in 6th position. Great to see.
I think on the straight, Misha's really fatal flaw in that one was that he utilised his ERS too much, and he's got a penalty for that one, as because he might have cut the pit entry just a little bit there. I think he crossed the dotted white line, so he's not in the wrong there. So I think that might be okay. But yeah, we're starting to see some pit stops coming up. Those tyres cannot last forever. Kazooie, Mish, and Petrox and Fabi as well, all putting into the pit lane. The only soft runners left out on circuit is Samuel Bean, of course, our race leader, Balana and Midnight, who wasn't able to pit just because of his teammate Misha occupying the box. You can't really double stack at all. They don't bring up 2 sets of tyres, so they've got to go back into the garage and bring everything out again. Came forwards with a 3-second time penalty, but the medium runners, as all the softs are going off the median, are still in their prime. There's a great battle going on. 7th on circuit at the moment, or actually 6th on circuit at the moment, between the Williams and the Ferrari cars. So this could be a nice fight between all of these different teams. We'll see into the braking zone of turn number 11. Looks like World Rally is very, very close up to the back of Will, but Tomato's most likely going to help his teammate defend from the Raging Italian from France and North of the Scarlet Red Ferrari. He's getting close to the back of the Williams car. He's not utilising his overtake yellow flags through the first sector, and that is unfortunately Caden Forbes going off again. I've got issues with his wheel, but yeah, World Rally cannot get close enough to actually fight, and I believe Kazooie and Misha having a nice scrap.
Yeah, but as well, there's quite a lot of battles happening everywhere, to be honest. That's what we like around this track as well. And the ones on the mediums that have been since the start, they're potentially fighting for the first of the medium runners. Samuel Bean heads into the pits. The reason why Samuel Bean did not pit was because obviously his teammate pitted as well a lap earlier, and obviously you can't double stack here. So Kazooie then is going to maybe try and clear ahead of these guys so he can help his teammate, but we'll have to wait and see. We've seen the undercut powerful for some of these drivers around here in the past. So Samuel Bean comes out. It's going to be quite close, but I think it's going to be very close, I think, between the two Renault boys as well. Kazooie with the switchback, heading past turn 1. They're going to be going side by side now, heading towards the S section, and Samuel Bean just takes it. The undercut was powerful for now, but Samuel Bean was just very keen to get past Kazooie in a flash as well. Mish also in this battle as well, and Haller is still right behind them as well. This is shaping up to be a very great fight for the lead of this race, the net lead of this race, at least. They're not in the race lead on track, but they will be later on. Petrox unfortunately gets a time penalty, but wow, the two Renault boys are absolutely fighting. It reminds me of the Hamilton and Rosberg days.
Oh well, Kazooie just can't get close enough on the straight. World Rally finds a way past Will, but he's not close enough to challenge his teammate, and also Samuel Bean has a lot more overtake to actually defend from his teammate there. So yeah, he can't do anything about that, and they'll be catching a little bit of traffic in the name of name changer. Quite fitting, of course, but yeah, he's quite a ways off of Greeny, Table Clan, and CC Brain, who are all fighting in the lower end of the alt strap runners. We're just waiting. It's a bit of a waiting game for the mediums to really come to the lane, to really bring up 3-second time penalty. So they are beginning to struggle with the track limits at this point in the race. It looks like Lamp is close to the back of Will. The two Wills going to be fighting out very soon, but they will begin to lose life in those times and then try and overtake their rivals before the pit lane, so they can actually have to jump on them when they're on the fresh set of tyres.
Yeah, patience is the key around this track as well, as Caden Falls picks himself another penalty as well. I believe that's 9 seconds for the Red Bull driver. But yes, I don't think Will wants to be in a Ferrari sandwich right now. I think it might be the least of his worries though, because he's got Tomato right in front of them as well. So maybe Tomato can help him out a little bit as well. But I have to say, KJ is doing very well holding up Benjamin for the lead of this race on track at least. We can see Benjamin with a huge pace advantage heading towards turn 12, and I think he's going to get the edge on KJ, which he does. Benjamin into the lead, and that's a bit of a corner cut there. He's almost certainly going to get a warning. We've got Will and Lamb also fighting towards turn 13 and 14. Will just has the edge there on Lap. Lap this time is going to try and go to the right, but unfortunately did not have the edge. Fabian Hadler also fighting for a net, I would say a net P4 in this race. So lots of interesting battles to be had as well. Kazui trying to get past some traffic, which is easier said than done. Kazui manages to do so though, and he's in a net P2. We've got the two Ferraris fighting. Will, I think, managed to get past both of them. Lamp goes into the pits. That is a bit earlier than thought, so it might be damage picked up from Will G. Of course, he's also called Will, but he's called Lamp F1. World Valley goes into there. There might have been some front wing damage for World Valley, and I think both of them are going to get, I think there might have been contact, I think, between World Valley or some sort, but I'm not sure with who.
No, I was watching the back of that fight, and I think he might have went into the rear of Tomato, and that might have chopped off a bit of his ring. Speaking of Tomato, he's really struggling on these times, and that has opened the door for his teammates to get very, very close to him, and could also invite Lamp into a fray, as now got into the braking zone just before the DRS straight. It's going to be maybe a 3-wide situation between the lot of them. Will in the Williams car in the best position to make the overtake on his teammate. Will probably give him a bit of slipstream just to defend from Lamp, who's right behind him, and he's actually going to go very deep onto the brake, and that is a brilliant move for Lamp with the dive bomb to get past Tomato, but it's not enough because now trying to come on the switchback against the Ferrari car. Brilliant fight between the pair of them so far. A little bit of contact on board with Tomato. I don't think that was enough to warrant any wing damage, and parking on the apex brilliantly there for Lamp to really just nullify any chance of a switchback move. That is 2 positions lost for Tomato in the space of about a couple of corners, but it was Will to get ahead and then the other Will to overtake Tomato, so the Welshman dropping down the order a little bit here.
The story of the wheels at the moment, I have to say, Dan, but Lamp, oh my god, Lamp amazing. I think he looked under control with that move as well. Sometimes you have to be late on the brakes when you head towards turn 13 and 14, and that is where I think the bravest drivers end up getting moved, as Samuel Bean gets past some more traffic, past Greeny LFC, and the next car will be Greeny's teammate CC Brain, who is currently sitting in P7 on track. Tomato is picking up time penalties. I won't be surprised if we see a lot of drivers with time penalties. The only one out of the leading bunch yet to get a penalty is Samuel Bean, and most crucially Fabi as well, who's looking to bounce back after his poor run of form of late, but we do know that he's a quick driver. He deserves, well, in a good day, he could challenge some of the F1 drivers, but there's some races where he has been inconsistent this season, but he is showing that he is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Not quite close enough to Mish on this lap, but Samuel Bean is going to try and get past CC Brain, and I think he does that with ease. Yes, he does, on the fresher tyres. Samuel Bean up into P7 on the track. We can see Fabi and Mish fighting for, I think it's a net P3. We also got a 4-way scrap. I don't even know what position it is, but we've got Banana and Petrox at Midnight fighting for their lives here at the moment. I think Mish is probably glad that these two are fighting. Banana is up into a net P5 now, but Midnight is giving it everything. Petrox too. This could be game on for these guys. We're not that long until the end of this race. This is why I like commentating here, because they just give it everything they got, and it is close to the end of the season. They can't afford to lose that many points at this late stage of the game.
Yeah, Samuel Bean just getting ahead of Table Clan coming into the first corner. This is really good for his race because caught in traffic is Kazooie. He's got two Mercedes in front of him who are going to be working together to fend off the Renault. And this is really helping Samuel Bean. It really puts him in the best position to win this race, clearing his rivals and not picking up any penalties so far. So he's doing so well in that regard. But Kazooie just struggling to find an avenue really to get past Green. He's got to do it in an unorthodox position. He's completely out of ERS. He's sub 10%, which means the power is actually going to be half. He's going to send it up the inside before that ERS straight even comes. And I don't think Greeny was expecting that one. He was caught napping by the German, and now he's found a way through, siding his way up the order. And now he's just got 8-10 to the back of CC Brave, but that's not going to stop. Oh my goodness me! As Greeny had to avoid the back of the Renault car. Now they're going to go side by side, and Kazooie's been forced off the circuit. A little bit of wheel bang between the pair of them, but Kazooie still finding an opportunity to make this overtake work. Greening's going to have the inside line for the next corner, and he's actually picked up a 3-second time penalty by getting forced off the road, and now he's been completely off the circuit. That is his position lost. A whole bunch of time completely gone out the window for the pair of them. It's now almost out of the DRS. Is Kazooie and 2cc Brain up ahead. Drivers coming into the pit lane. Table Clan and Tomato not feeling those medium times anymore. They'll be coming into the pit lane to take off that set, and they'll be going probably onto a set of softs to go towards the end of the race. Of course, it's a lot easier to run the tyres run the soft compounded tyres at the end of the race. And actually, it's like Samuel Bean finding a way past win as well. So yeah, they're all making a bit of moves in the pack further out the road.
Yeah, we saw Lamp and Will going for some moves as well up front for P3 and P4 on track. Lamp and Will probably going to keep on with that scrap as well. And he's got Samuel Bean in the party as well. What would you do if you were in that situation? Would you be still battling, or would you have to concede to Samuel Bean? I know you will probably still be battling, but you can see Lamp is already pulling away from Will. This is not what Will wants at all. Tomato picks himself a 3-second time penalty as well. So more time penalties to add to pretty much mostly everyone's lips at this moment in time. Samuel Bean's got to get get past Will ASAP, because Kazooie could catch up like no tomorrow. But we do know Will is hungry for as many points as he can. But Samuel Bean just gets past him, and his next victim is Lamp F1, of course. But I thought going on the soft now was a little bit earlier, but I do believe they can make it to the end. But the tyres would be a bit of a push, I think, in terms of optimum pace. Meanwhile, Ballina, he's on the edge right now, still getting some more position. Midnight, I think, has got past Ballina already, so it's now Mission 9th, Midnight in a 10th position. The Racing Point cars are definitely working together at the moment. We've got Ballina and Petrox fighting. We've got pretty much everyone fighting as well. Petrox, I think, tries to go around the inside, couldn't make it work, heading towards the final corner. We've got Lamp and we've got Will, Greeny, I believe. No, Greeny stays out. We've got, I think, his teammate CC Brain coming into the pit for the soft compounded tyres, but still not stopping these guys from fighting. I think Petrox is definitely, again, showing his form after his unfortunate races due to his disconnects, but glad to see that his connection has definitely improved. Of course, we don't want to see laggy cars everywhere.
Yes. Oh, there's a spin as Petrox around, and he could be into the wall. He went for a bit of an ambitious move on Ballon. I thought that maybe he wouldn't try for that one, because they, of course, are part of the same organisation of BRT. There might have been that bit of mutual respect, but unfortunately, Petrox just went for a gap that really wasn't going to open up. That is any chance of a decent position probably out the window, because he's going to have Tomato, Lamp, and Will all hounding the back of him very shortly. But of course, we've still got a couple of the medium runners yet to pit. Greeny's been on these tyres only 13 laps since about lap number 4. He's taken these tyres a really long way, and it's probably going to pay off to him towards the end of the race. But Benjamin and KJ are most likely going to have to pull into pit lane this lap or next. It looks like Benjamin will be pulling off to the left hand side, and that is KJ making the same move as him. So they're both into the pit lane, and that will unleash Samuel Bean back into the lead of the Grand Prix. 1-2 for Renault as their constructors charge keeps on improving, and with the gap, I don't think actually a win here will mean Benjamin loses the championship lead, but it's certainly going to put him in a position of harm for Samuel Bean to strike that.
I'm gonna be doing some maths here, but I'm almost certain the gap between Benjamin and his nearest rival is nowhere near enough to take that. Actually, no. 72 minus 53 if I'm just going to say, if Samuel Bean does get the win, then it won't be enough for him. But if Mish gets the win, it may be just about enough if Benjamin does not score enough points. But never say never for Benjamin. Benjamin wants to keep that championship lead, and he's going to do so, I think, for one more race then. So his first fit team on the soft charge is Petrox, and Petrox is no easy feat for him as well. I think it's going to be a lot harder for Benjamin, but he's the first of the soft runners, so it's probably going to be easier for him. The soft tyres are megally much quicker than the mediums, about 1.3 seconds, so this should be easy move for the AlphaTauri driver. There he goes, Benjamin up into 8th place, and he's going to try and gain as many positions as he can. Now I wonder if he's going to do the same to his teammate. Fair play to Benjamin though, he's one of the few drivers in the top 10 who's got no penalties to his name. Another driver that's not got penalties, Hadler, and his teammate Ballina, as well as Fabi and Samuel Bean. So good job to them. I probably would have got a lot of penalties right now, but it's just about keeping consistent for these drivers at the moment. Benjamin just can't push too much, because otherwise his tyres will fall off, and his teammate Ballina has just picked himself a penalty, so I jinxed the AlphaTauri boys there.
Yeah, well, Benjamin, of course, he's on the back of Hadler. He's not got DRS so far, but he's just set a purple sector 3, so he'll be flying in comparison to his rivals who've all got penalties in front of him. It'll be easy for him to catch up, of course. Might be a little bit difficult to overtake as KJ manages to get past Petrox. But overtake these guys, especially in the DRS room, will be difficult. For Hadler, it shouldn't be too difficult for Benjamin to make a move, and I'd imagine that it's not going to be... Ballina won't put up a fight against his teammate, of course.
Tomato's gone off!
He's lost quite a bit of time.
That's probably why. Wheel spin, maybe? Might be wheel spin.
He just had a bit of a moment, I think, as Benjamin gets past Hadler there. So he's onto the back of his teammate, and that'll be a pretty easy move. But I don't think Hadler's going to be giving this one up too easy, but he's pretty much got no answer to Benjamin, who's going to be absolutely rapid on these tyres.
Hadler's also picked up a penalty as well, so again, I jinxed him too. Let's not talk about penalties, because I'm getting worried I might jinx someone as well. So if Benjamin keeps up his pace and he can match the pace of the guys up ahead, he could be on for a good result here. Again, he's 1 second behind his teammate as well. Will there be team orders for the AlphaTauri guys? Maybe, maybe not. I think I know the AlphaTauri boys well enough for them to be allowing to race, but they're on different strategies. I'm sure Ballina will let Benjamin through, no problem, as they head towards turn number 1 with the next DRS detection point. Not close enough for now, as Benjamin saying the fastest lap of the race so far. And with everyone, I believe everyone has made their compulsory stop. Yes, they have. So it's pretty much for the majority of these guys a sprint to the finish. Let's hope they do not get punches in this race. KJ has got past Hadler too, as he's now 1.6 seconds behind Benjamin. Greeny has got past World Rally as well. So yes, the soft runners are definitely on the faster tyre. But for some of the drivers, it's going to be hard. For some of the drivers like Benjamin, it's going to be a lot easier, due to the fact that the majority of the guys in front are on the medium compounded tyres. Benjamin a lot closer now. This should be an easy move for him. And you can see Midnight and Mish fighting in the background as well. So that's going to be, I think, trickier for Benjamin.
Yeah, in regards to his teammate, he's not even going to have to use his overtake to get past Ballina. He's not going to fight this whatsoever. Really tricky to charge up the battery around this circuit because of how much you're taking it flat out, and you're not really on the brakes all too much. But now into 6th position, you've got the gap of 3 seconds that he needs at the very least to Mish and Midnight. So that will be 2 more positions gained for him. But I'd assume with those fresher soft tyres, they're still in their prime at the moment. He's not going to be short of pace at all in this one. Looks like we've gotten to a point where where drivers have made their mistakes and they've gone to separate on circuit at the moment. So it's just a matter of time before Benjamin reels in Midnight and Mish. Mish falling off in this race, unfortunately, and he's probably going to lose a position to Benjamin very shortly. Midnight as well, despite them actually having pretty decent races. You've got to give it to Benjamin, making up 12 places in this race. He started all the way down, I think in 18th place, 19th, qualified 19th, but of course lap starting right at the back of the grid. You've got to hand it to Benjamin in this one.
Yep, you got to hand it to her as well. I know his predictions in chat that Benjamin could possibly get a P2. Well, if he keeps this up and he doesn't get any penalties, then P2 will definitely be on the cards for him as well. But he's got to worry about Fabi as well, who's also got no penalties, and Samuel Bean too. But he's going to probably get past everyone else, no problem, as Midnight is around 3/10 behind his teammate Mish as well. And I know these teammates are allowed to race each other. Mish is not giving Midnight an easy time, I have to say, as well. You can see Fabi and Kazooie fighting as well. Now just allowing Samuel Bean just to go away into the distance, run his own race, try and get the gap that he needs just in case he does get a penalty, in order to take the win. He's got no penalties as well. But we know that Kazooie could fight back sooner or later. The results could change in a blink of an eye. Who knows? We may see a late safety car. We may see a few of the contenders having bad races. Well, the bad remainder of the races, but it seems to be that they're doing all right so far. Looks like Benjamin could go for a move on Midnight in the next turn, heading towards turn 1. I'm almost certain he's going to get the better one. I don't think Midnight's going to challenge him, or is he? Because don't forget, it is 4 position, but we do know the Delta is completely different to the medium. So, yeah, that is easy for Benjamin, and now Benjamin is up into 5th place and in a crucial position in order to score as many points as he can now.
Yeah, and they'll be onto the back of Mish very, very shortly. You can see how much more confident he is with the tyres, and that is almost purely down to how much quicker you can actually be with the tyres, and he's actually in a much better position. He doesn't even need the overtake on the DRS straight, as he actually makes it as I think a big mistake coming out there for Mish. He's now to the back of Fabi, who's just picked up a 3-second time penalty, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he could maybe try for a move. He's 4/10 back on circuit. Fabi has not got the DRS on Kazooie ahead, so it's going to be P3 on circuit for Benjamin. An absolutely stoic performance from him, a valiant effort, and that is now netting him a podium position, and he's not too far back from Samuel Bean too. And I thought it would have been crazy to win from 19th, but it really is looking like a possibility for Benjamin. Absolutely tremendous stuff.
I did say starting 11th around here is pretty much gold at the moment, but Benjamin obviously had a better start than everybody else and put those things to bed. He definitely did not start 11th, but Benjamin, I think, could be on course to be getting, I'm almost certain he's going to get P2. P1 is going to be a lot harder than we thought, because we do know Kazooie and Samuel Bean will be working together, and I know Kazooie's going to hold up a little bit as well, because you do know that there's also the constructors battle to keep an eye on as well. If Benjamin gets past these two, more points are going to be scored for the AlphaTauri team, and the Renault boys are not going to let that happen. Don't forget they had Lee Finley in the car for the first 3 races. They don't have him anymore. A yellow flag, Table Clan is out of the session, and he's retired in the pit lane, so no safety cars there. There will be yellow flag instead to 3 because of it as well, as we're seeing more moves, I think, potentially happening towards the midfield between Lamp F1, Will, Tomato. We'll have to wait and see how this goes as well. I don't think Benjamin's going to get the move yet, but I know he's going to probably prove us wrong, as he's got the DRS. Yep, he's going for it this time. He had to use a bit of his overtake earlier on, and he's now got in a net P. Well, he's in a P, definitely in a P2 position. He didn't need to do that, but he was worried he'll probably get held up. So he's at P2 on track, P2 for definite at this moment, as long as he doesn't bottle it. But there's one position he has not been in PSGL, and that is a win. He's looking the favourite to win this race right now.
Yeah, and he's only a second back from Samuel Bean. 4 laps on these tyres are absolutely perfect for him, so it's going to be a likely move for the lead. And actually, I think Lamp and Petrox have been going at it, and that netted them losing 2 positions because Will has managed to get past, but now on the straight, Benjamin has the DRS on Samuel Bean in front of him. It's only a matter of time before he closes in to the Spaniard and makes a move for the race lead. 6/10 is the gap between the pair of them at the moment, as Midnight is also trying to find a way back on Mish too. Both these on 3 seconds worth of penalties. They'll be jumping Kazooie in this one because he's got 6 seconds of penalty, but yeah, they are slightly up the road as Lamp gets back past Petrox after they had their little bit of a squabble. But this has to be the move for Benjamin. He's 5/10 back from the Spaniard, his main championship rival. 19 points separating these two, and it might extend or come down depending on the result of this move on this straight. We'll see how much he's closed on exit. 4/10 back from Samuel Bean. He's reeling him in. Samuel Bean going defensive to the inside, tucking back into the slipstream. Is the Belgian car. Where's he going to go? He's looking to the inside line. They might have come into contact there, but now up the inside, that's the move for Benjamin. And that is his first race lead that he's had all season long. He's been waiting so many rounds, and it's finally got to the point where he is leading a Grand Prix, and on those fresh soft tyres, he'll be pushing right towards the end.
Wow, Benjamin, I would have to say bravo. The moves that you've made to try and get into P1 this race is sensational. And to be honest, with everyone else picking up a penalty, I think both the top two could afford picking up some penalties. It won't affect the race one bit, as we've got, I believe, I was riding on board with a Lamp for a bit before Samuel Bean and Benjamin were having a battle as well. They're still scrapping for position 2, so we could see a battle for the point. Excuse me. Battle for the point, the last point position, and battle for the win. It's just really fascinating that they're definitely giving it their all in the final few rounds. Meanwhile, KJ is fighting over Mish. A little bit of contact there as well. Mish, I think, is going to lose out just a little bit. Still going side by side. Be careful, lads. We don't want to have any incidents, but KJ, I think, just is going to have the edge at the moment. If I was KJ, I would wait until I think I would say turn 11 to make that move, but I know KJ is holding no prisoners. The last race he got, I believe, he finished some good points already in his championship. Don't forget, he is a reserve driver. I don't think it'll be very long before he becomes full-time, because he's performing sensational performances, as we're going to see Samuel Bean already a second behind Benjamin already. That's not what he wants, but let's watch the battle between KJ and Mish now. It's probably going to be an easy overtake for him, or is it not? I think KJ has to sell for P6 for now. He may be struggling on the softs a little bit harder than we thought it was going to be. Let's also jump to the battle between Will and Lamp. Still a little bit further back to make the move. I think these guys are just going to be a little bit patient until the final few laps. I think the battle to keep an eye on, though, is between these lot. KJ and I believe Mish are still going for it into turn, turn 15 and 16 there. KJ, I think, just has the edge there. There's your chance that he had, and KJ's up into 6th position. And looking at penalties, he's not going to keep it, though, as he's the only driver out of that bunch to get a 6th second, apart from Kazooie in 3rd.
Yeah, well, he was kind of not really allowed to make the overtake in comparison, as Midnight is also finding a way up the inside of Fabi for P4 on circuit. Brilliant race from him, and he's not had many point scoring positions since the podium a couple of races ago, or it was actually more than a couple of races ago, but he did manage to pick up 2nd at some point. He managed to get past Fabi, who's also struggling with the penalties, and he's within a podium position as well, because Kazooie's got 6 seconds of penalties. Midnight has only got 3 seconds, but yeah, as I was saying, KJ wasn't able to make the overtake on Mish, just completely forced off by him, and lap to go around this point, but he's trying to go around the outside of Fabi, and he might try and make a switchback move work, and he's actually executed that one to perfection, because now he's with the better exit. He's not got slipstream on the car in front, and Fabi's just pulling away from him, but now tucking back into the slipstream of the McLaren car. He can see it all up in his visor. He's gonna have to look up the inside. He's almost into the back of Midnight, but he's executed that one to perfection. Fabi left caught napping there by KJ Elting. He tried defending it as much as he could, but now onto the back of Midnight. He can sense a potential podium position in this one, and those top tyres still going to be able to go to the end, but they are at the point where they're probably on par with the medium, so it's going to be a complete brute force slugfest between the pair of them on just who is more confident on the brakes and making the moves.
Bring it on for these drivers. They're giving it their all in the final few laps, and this is what we want to see around here. USA is a great track for overtakes like that, and I've got to say, one of the races of the season so far for majority of these drivers as well. I think KJ may have pushed a little bit too much, and that's what's hindering at the moment, and that may allow Fabi to catch up again. You're seeing the penalties on screen. The one with the most penalties at the moment is Tomato with 21 seconds. He's got to be careful he doesn't get any more before he gets disqualified. Name changer though, gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he's calling it a day, which is a shame for him. No points for his name. He wasn't going to get any points anyway, so I don't blame him for giving up right now. We're on the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. Time does fly by when you're having fun. Roll Valley is also still carrying on, despite the fact that he is 16th on the grid, but he is learning for every race he is doing at PSGL at the moment. KJ, I think, not being able to get past Midnight, so you can see Midnight is definitely on the money, on the pace. Or do you think KJ is waiting for the opportunity. I don't think KJ has to make the moves. He's going to drop down positions anyway. But you're a racer at heart. You want to make those moves.
Yeah, well, it's all for the glory. You want to go for the position on circuit, even if you're losing it due to penalties. It is just about pride at the end of the day between those guys. And if he wants to exhibit his pace, he is, of course, at full duty and legislation to do so. And he's already onto the back. 2/10 is the gap between himself and Midnight, the young driver who's got a bright future in esports. And of course, he's just having to defend from KJ Elting, who's got DRS, got overtake. Well, only a little bit left to spare, but it should be a move down the inside for KJ. We'll see what he does in comparison to Midnight. Pulling up to the left-hand side. He can't sense a move. There it is. He's actually gone for it, and now they're going to be side by side on exit. It's just that little bit more grip in the tyres of Midnight has allowed for him to maintain the 4th position on circuit. But if they're battling this hard, then Midnight is going to lose out to Kazooie, because he's now outside of the 3 seconds that he needs for the podium position.
Yeah, that is dangerous, I think, for Midnight. I mean, Midnight will be his first podium in a while. He's been very, very unlucky this season at Midnight. We're used to him performing much better than he has been this season, and he was going to hope that he would bounce back from that. But he's still going to get some good points anyway, and points is better than no points right now. But I'll have to say there's going to be some battles towards the end, that's for sure. And I don't think Fabi is going to challenge KJ or Midnight, I don't think, but there may be patience between these lot at the moment. But let's go on board with the person who is leading the championship. He has never won a race in PSGL. The best result he had was P2. The worst result he's had is a P6. He's been consistent all season. We've been waiting for so long for this moment to finally come. The championship leader is finally going to add a win to his name. He reads across the line. He wins in USA, and he is going to be carrying on this championship campaign in style. He's one of the favourites so far. Samuel being in second, Kazooie in third on track. But is he going to stay there? Yes, he does. Midnight has not done enough. 9/100ths is the difference between him and Kazooie. If he found a little bit more attempts, he would have got the podium. But Kazooie just manages to hold on there. Fabi 5th, Mish 6th, KJ in 7th, Balana in 8th, Lab in 9th, and CC Brain gets the final point with Will just missing out there. We do have a yellow flag, but that's probably people binning it. But yeah, Benjamin, bravo. Don't forget he started near the back of the grid, and he went on to win. Incredible. I bet he's going to get driver of the day in game as well.
Yeah, well, they do base it off of points position, so you'd have to expect it. And there it is, of course, driver of the day for Benjamin. And I can't help but have a smile on my face after that one. We've been asking him in the interviews, when's the win going to come? What track are you going to win it at? And he's finally executed that one. So really, really well done to Benjamin in that regard. He celebrates atop the podium, but he's not out the water in comparison to his rivals, because Samuel Bean managed to pick up 2nd position and Kazooie in 3rd. Those guys going to extend their gap at the top for the constructors, but it is all about the drivers for these two, because it's Benjamin extending his championship lead.
Yes, we'll go through your results then. The 3 people that we usually expect to be on the podium are on the podium. So Benjamin, the Belgium, has finally done it, from almost last to winning the race. And it just goes to show that the alternate strategy is pretty much OP around this track, isn't it? Samuel being in 2nd, Kazooie in 3rd. And I have to say, well done to the top 2 for not picking up any penalties. Kazooie, Midnight in 4th, Fabi 5th, Mish 6th, KJ in 7th, Balana 8th, Lamp F1 in 9th, and CC Brain, the other driver inside the top 10 to not pick up a penalty. So well done to him too for getting some good results. We've got Will, Petrox, Hadler, Tomato, Roll Riley picking up the fastest lap, but they do not get any points since they're outside the top 10. Greeny in 16th, and he is classified in game, but you will get a retirement due to him retiring in the pit later. Your retirements are Name Changer, Table Clan, Caven Forbes, and Simo, who did not even make it past the S's section, I believe. So what a shame for Simo, but I have to say it was a very great race to commentate on, and I'm really glad we experienced that. I hope we get the same next week.
Yeah, of course, next week we are headed to Mexico. Pretty similar track, actually, to Belgium, and very difficult with the tyres. I'm going to probably be expecting a 2-stop strategy around there, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see. I hope we have a brilliant one like this one.
I hope so as well, and yes, I have to agree. Mexico is definitely a two-stop race. I think you can't do soft to hard and make that last. It's literally pretty much impossible. And obviously we got Abu Dhabi, which I would argue that it's also a two-stop track as well. So we got two-stop tracks in a row. So that could be interesting for the drivers. And I'm just asking the drivers in the top three if they would like to be interviewed. I'm almost certain Benjamin wants to be interviewed. I think he's still pretty much in shock that he managed to get into that. Because I thought someone who started P11 would pull up the alternate strategy, but for someone to pull up the alternate strategy from P18 is remarkable. And don't forget, he actually avoided the collisions that happened towards the back between, I think it was Caden Forbes, name changer, Greeny, I think as well. I mean, it just shows that he's a driver that likes to keep it clean, and it shows that also the race is not won in lap one, of course, and he was just taking his time and just waiting for the perfect moment. Obviously, the first stint was just gearing up for what was about to come for the AlphaTauri driver, and let's hope there'll be many more race wins to come because he's a nice driver. I like him, and I think a lot of people in the chat do like his driving style as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we do get these guys in for an interview. I'm just checking the waiting room, seeing if any of them are in there. Well, we're not going to be interested.
Oh, Benjamin.
Benjamin's in there, so we could probably pull him in right now. Yeah,
we'll start with P1, I've got to say, and we will bring Benjamin in, and after all these races, we said, when are you going to get a win? When are you going to get a win? Today, you've finally done it, but not in the easy of circumstances, I have to say, but you did it. Tell us what was going through your mind during that race.
Yeah, quali wasn't too good, I can say. P19. I completely choked the quali. I was going for P11, but I slowed down way too much, so I was P19, but yeah, the race went well. First lap, I think there was a huge crash, and then I was already in P12, and then from then on overtook everybody for the win.
Yes, he pretty much met all drivers, I have to say as well. Were you planning to go on the alternate strategy to begin with, or you were hoping to qualify inside the top 10 and do the soft to medium strategy?
No, I was aiming for the reverse strategy. I also built my setup for that. So yeah, it felt really good in the race.
Yeah, but I think I could say you're probably going to try that, I think, in future USA races to come as well. Now that is your best result of the season as well, and you just made it look easy when you were trying to battle other people as well. I think. Do you think the delta difference between the softs and the mediums help you get past these cars?
Yeah, obviously. KJ and I waited a little bit longer than we would have done normally to keep the softs better at the end of the race. So that really helped with overtaking.
Yes, and do you think you would get another win at this season, or is it your main focus to try and seal this championship?
Well, I'm gonna try to win another race maybe, but yeah, now I can take off that box that I gotta win now and just completely focusing on the championship right now.
Yep, I think you definitely extended the gap to your rivals, in particularly Mish as well, in the championship, and you could possibly, I think, because with 3 rounds to go, you may be able to win it either this next week or the week after, which makes things interesting as well. Is there any thing that you are finding difficult around the next track that we've got, which is Mexico? Is there any corners that you need to pay particular attention to?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard on penalties, the first chicane and the S's, but yeah, for the rest, I like the track. So yeah, we'll see next week.
Yep, and let's hope you can close up, you can get the gap that you need for your rivals then. A big well done to you, and before we end your interview with you, what was your first reaction when you came across the line and saw the P1 next to your name?
Yeah, I was just relieved, to be honest, after the quali. So happy.
It just goes to show, Benjamin, do not give up, and you did not give up, and that's what helped you get the win today. Best of luck for next week in Mexico.
Thank you.
Right, we'll move on to our, I believe it's third place man, Kazooie. There, you did very, very well in the race to still get that podium despite the 6 seconds of penalties. Those final few laps must have been very hard to try and get that gap, because I think it was about 9 100ths difference between you getting a podium and you not, so it must have been intense.
Yes, it was. Yeah, another podium. That's very nice, but could have been so much more. I bottled my qualifying lap completely because I had to drive with a broken wheel. Was a bit weird. My mid-qualifying, my wheel just turned. Yeah, it was just weird and nearly undrivable. But I still managed to qualify P3. I think I had the best start, but then got pushed wide. If I remember correctly. Yeah, and from then on, it was just drive to survive nearly.
Nice pun you're using there as well, literally. But yes, that's going to help you, I would say, with the constructors, with both of the Renault cars in at the top 3. You would have probably liked one of you guys to get the win there. But do you still think the constructors battle is still in sight for the Renault team?
Yes, it's looking very good for us, Renault boys. So, yeah. We have it nearly in the bag, I would say.
Yeah, don't become complacent now, Kazooie, because there's still like 3 more rounds left. Is there
Yes, I know.
is there any tracks where you think you're gonna struggle at for the remainder, or do you think you're gonna be all right with the final 3 tracks we have on the calendar?
It's Mexico, Abu Dhabi, and I think
Japan.
Yeah, Japan. I like every track. Yeah, I
Oh,
like
good.
everyone.
And do you think after your performance tonight, do you still think you have a slim shot of the title? It's probably gonna fade away pretty quickly, but do you think you could still close in to have a snatch of the title, or are you aiming for P2 or P3 in the championship?
I mean, I will always try to finish as high as possible, but Benjamin once again drove an amazing race. He had a bit of luck with the safety car, I would say. But yeah, I had 6 seconds of pen. Again, a penalty. Yeah, it was a tough race, but yeah, like I said, I will always fight for the best position.
And as Benjamin was speaking earlier as well, penalties is also hard to not get in Mexico as well. What are you going to do to make sure that you get little to no penalties and get less than 6 seconds?
In Mexico, I think the whole grid will get 1 penalty, I'm pretty sure, because the first sector is drivable without a warning. But I would be happy with 1 pen in Mexico.
Yeah, and that will be better than you did today with 6 seconds. So
yes.
Dan, do you have any questions for Kazooie?
Yeah, well, I'd just like to mention that this is now your 4th podium in a row, but you're yet to take a win. So is that really the next goal for you in this season?
Yes, of course. I was pretty confident to win today, but then I had the qualifying issues with my wheel. Wasn't able to put a good lap in. I was pretty comfortable with my race pace, but yeah, it wasn't the day today. Maybe next race we will see.
Just thinking about the next 3 races, the final 3 races, we're headed to Mexico, Abu Dhabi, and Japan. If one of these tracks were to be the one that you'd win out, which one would you say is most likely to be your best chance?
I would say Mexico. I like the track since last year. I was pretty comfortable with the track, and yeah, but I don't want to say I'm going to win Mexico or anything, but yeah, we will see.
Well, of course, best of luck to you, and I'm hoping for the best for you.
Thanks.
There we go then. So we interviewed the likes of Kazooie and obviously our race winner of Benjamin. We haven't got Samuel Bean in the party with us, but I'm sure he's going to have one thing in his mind to try and close up to Benjamin next week. But we'll find out what happens same time next week at 7 p.m. But if you want some more PSGL action, don't forget there is PSGL F1, F5 and F6 running their USA races at the moment. They just started their race, and I'm sure it's going to be spectacular if this race is anything to go by. So make sure you support all of them. If you haven't already, please make sure you leave this video a like and also subscribe, turn notifications on or whatever so you know when to not miss a stream or a video that we put up. Thank you to Dan for joining me in the commentary box as always.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for having me on the F2 stream. Only got 3 rounds left in the championship. It's all gone by quite quickly.
It has, especially since there's 12 rounds as well. I don't really want this to end, but it will have to end at some point. But we will see you same time next week, 7 p.m. UK time, for the Mexican Grand Prix. Should be a classic. Goodbye.